Today I'm going to show how to rebuild the Bosch FPK22 MW22 lift pump or diesel fuel pump for the om617 engine. So I'm just going to disassemble it and replace the plungers, springs, crush washers, and the primer pump here, and then should be good to go. So the first thing I'm doing is just putting it in a vise, and you don't want to put where the gasket mounts. You don't want this in the vise. You don't want to break off any of these ears. So I'm just putting up against the sides of it, and I'll unscrew this old primer pump. These things are really prone to leak, and Bosch came out with a redesign. See, it's still got some fuel in it. There's the crush washer, but we don't want that. Let's see, and then this can be removed with a deep socket, so I'll take that off next. And then this one right here, I think like a 22. Yeah, that's a 22 millimeter. I can unscrew that to replace the crush washer there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the vise wasn't really a good idea because these guys this was really torqued in there tight, and so is this. So I just came out here and put it on the impact gun and literally put it on the lowest setting and pulled the trigger for like 1 second, like bzz, and I mean, this came off really easy. So did the 30 millimeter. See the big socket there? Spins up real easy with an impact. So that's how you want to do that. So let me disassemble these parts. This is where the fuel comes in, the inlet, which is, if you're looking at the, I don't know why that's blurry. Okay, there we go. You can read it much better. It's not blurry. So the fuel input, where the fuel comes in, is to the right of the word Bosch. And then when you take the 30 millimeter out of the back, see if I can turn this up like that. So what comes out of here, that's the 30 millimeter, I guess the cap. Here's the cap. Looks like that. I'm going to clean that up. And then you have a spring. I'll clean up that spring there. Then on the bottom of the pump, we have this little plug, and it's the same size as the one on the top. I actually used just a 3/4. I'm not sure what it is in metric. And you have a crush washer with a spring, and there's your plunger. There we go. So you got the plunger, the little spring, and the crush washer. And in the rebuild kit, they send you new plunger and new springs and crush washer. Okay, I've got all the pieces out of the pump. These are the little plungers and the springs, O-rings. There's not much to it. There's the big spring. And then here, I took off this little clip, and they send a replacement in the kit, and that allows this section to come out. See if I can do it with one hand here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand. I pulled out the little roller wheel, and it has two Woodruff keys on the sides of it. See, there's a key there and a key there that slide into those keyholes right there. See, the keys go in there. Alright, I was showing you how the little Woodruff keys on here slide in here, and inside there's a little rod which I've pushed back and pushed the piston out of the back. The piston looks like this, so I'm going to clean up the piston. And inside here, I know there's a little O-ring that seals, I'm going to clean all that up, and seals that little rod so oil doesn't get in from the engine, from the injection pump. Let's see if I can show that little O-ring. There it is right there, that little bitty O-ring. And that comes in the rebuild kit. Little bitty guy. Alright, so I pulled out the push rod. This is the push rod, and the injection pump has a cam on it that spins and pushes this back and forth, and the push rod pushes the piston, and it goes through like this, and the piston is back here and the roller wheel is up here, and there's a little O-ring that seals around that to keep oil from the injection pump from getting through into the fuel passageways, which you can see right in there. Let me get this light here. There we go. See the little orifice there? And there, that's where the fuel comes in and is pumped through the push rod and piston, and then pushes through that hole and comes out the top, back up into the injector lines. So using this little sharp pick, whoops, I just knocked it back down in there. I got down inside that hole, and see that little O-ring right there? Pulled that little O-ring out. Actually, let me see if I can grab it right here. I just knocked it down in there. There you go. So down inside that, the cylinder, or the bore, is that O-ring, and that seals around this rod to keep oil from coming into the fuel from the injection pump. So I'm going to replace that. Okay, everything has been cleaned in the wash tank, and I use various brass and nylon brushes to clean everything really well. Let's see if I can get some light on here. There we go. So we see there's the rear cap, crush washer, the spring cleaned up really nice. There's the piston, and here's the new little, I'm not sure what you call those. I guess like pumping valves or something like that, stoppers. They pump the fuel. Then there's the intake for the fuel over here, and then it pushes it out over here. Here's the new little C-clip for the roller bearing on the front, and I've actually already installed the O-ring. You can see it right there. I mean, I know what I'm looking for, but you can see that little bitty O-ring that's inside the groove right there in the dead center. And then let me put this piece here. There we go. And there is the, whoops, I forgot to clean that one. So I'm going to wipe that off a little bit. There's the shaft that pushes back and forth, and there's everything. Here's the, there's that old O-ring and the old clip and the old plungers and springs. And anyway, so now all the internals will be new, and this pump will be good for another hundreds of thousands of miles. I'm going to start putting it back together. Okay, the injection pump has been rebuilt, and that's just a little leaking from the intake hose there, but no leaking on anything. New Bosch primer pump is on there, and works great. Primed the pump. So let's fire this thing up. It's pretty warm out here today, and already, let's see, I'll put the glow plugs on there for a second or two. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that should be fine. All right. There's idle. And I'm just going to run it up in the RPMs a little bit. Everything looks good. There we go. Idle's fine. There we go. Everything runs good. It cranks up, it fires right up. So it's a lot of fun building this thing, man. And hope you really enjoy it.